Okay, guys. So, this is sorry. Welcome to Network Ethics. Today is the day one of our Firewall Combo training program, as well as the day one of Palo Alto firewall training program. Okay, so we are in this Firewall training program. We are starting with the Palo Alto firewall as a first firewall. Okay, in this timing schedule. Okay, so 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we already had a discussion about the course curriculum, but still some of the guys who newly joined, okay, those who do not attend our demo session. So in a brief manner, I'm going to explain what is the content we are going to cover in this Palo Alto, and then uh, before before that, I just want to give some introduction to the Palo Alto. Okay, so Palo Alto networks. Then I'll give you the roadmap of your training program. So like let's say in Palo Alto, in which week wise I want to give a roadmap of the training program, how many weeks it will take, and which topic it will go, right? So that we are going to discuss, and then and meanwhile I'll get your personal details like for LMS access, those who enroll for the Fine One Firewall Compo or only Palo Alto. So we are creating a LMS portal. So we'll get your personal details like register mail ID and then register WhatsApp number. Okay, so mobile number. So you can able to log in with the LMS portal with your OTP only. Okay, so just provide your, I mean, while asking that your personal details, just share your register mail ID and as well as your WhatsApp number. Okay, so I mean your valid mobile number, guys. No, no, not Ramesh. No, guys, not now, not now. Okay, so while end of the session, I'll collect all your information. Meanwhile, so if you have any doubts, you can just ping me in the chat. Okay, or okay, so fine. Let's start our today's session. So in this fine on firewall compo, as a first firewall, we are going to start with a Palo Alto, right? So in Palo Alto, so if you, as per Palo Alto vendor, right? So Palo Alto training, if you want to get trained this Palo Alto firewall in from Palo Alto, right, network, then they are following two type of, I mean, in the training level, there are three papers they are conducting for the training level. So the training would be certification perspective in Palo Alto networks. So if you want to get trained in Palo Alto, you can go for a global certification. There are two type of level of training. It's in Palo Alto firewall. Okay, so that is PCNSA. Okay, and PCNSE. So and another entry level training program uh, is there. So let me show you that. That is not, and that is only for the people those who are very new to the industry. I mean the students, right? So those who want to enter into the network security or cyber security domain. Let me share that. Where it is. Just a minute, guys. Yes. Okay. So PCCSA is the training level, entry level training program. PCCSA. So Palo Alto Network Certified Cyber Security Associate level. It's which is equivalent to CompTIA N plus, or partially you're going to learn, which is some features, some topics, or some, sorry. So partially you're going to learn CCNA topics here. So CCNA fundamental, networking fundamental and cyber security fundamental you're going to learn in this Palo Alto certified network certified cybersecurity associate. Okay, so to get this PC NSE certification, there is no prerequisites. First, you have to complete PC CSA, and then you have to complete PC NSA, and then you have to go for a PC NSE. Okay, so it's entry level. So those who will have a knowledge of CCNA or CompTIA, N plus or Security plus, right? If you have a knowledge of these, so that is fine. You are eligible to write. I mean, you're eligible to learn PCNSA and PCNSA. It's a product oriented training. PCNSA and PCNSA, it's a product oriented training. PCCSA, it's not a product oriented training. It's about fundamental. Like in network, we have a network fundamental, right? The same way, network fundamental and cybersecurity fundamental you are going to learn. I mean, network security fundamental you are going to learn in this PCCSA, guys. Okay, so you can just ignore. So if the prerequisites to learn this Palo Alto firewall or any next generation firewall, I have mentioned at least you should have a knowledge of CCNA. So hope everyone have a networking fundamental knowledge. So you guys are eligible, or you guys can learn PCNSA and PCNSE directly without having this. Okay, so so our curriculum, which is professional level, okay, so we're just starting with PCNSA and PCNSE, guys. So you can learn here this two curriculum, which is talk about the product oriented training. Okay, this is not a product oriented training. Here we are learning in this Finon firewall compo. We are learning of each products, like each firewall products here. So like in Cisco ASN, Cisco FTD, and Palo Alto firewall plus Panorama centralized management product, and in Cisco ASA firewall, and Cisco FTD next generation firewall, and Cisco FMC, so management device. So that product also we are going to learn here. The same, it's all about product oriented. So our curriculum, which is included PCNSA and PCNSE when it comes to the Palo Alto. Okay, so in Palo Alto, we are covering up to PCNSA and PCNSE, guys. Okay, so here, if you want to get trained for a PCNSA or PCNSE in Palo Alto. So for PCNSA, you have to complete one paper in Palo Alto. As per Palo Alto norms, you have to complete the paper called EDU 210, guys. Okay, so EDU 210, which is talk about your Palo Alto firewall configuration and management. Okay, so only Palo Alto firewall in this paper. So if you're looking for only PCNSA certification, which is administrative level, right? So you're eligible. I mean, this single paper. If you know this EDU 210 paper concepts, then you're eligible to write PCNSA, guys. Okay, so you're going to learn how to use your Palo Alto firewall to protect your network in a daily basis for a configuration deployment, and then maintenance. Okay, these three things are you're going to learn, and only for Palo Alto firewall. Okay, and if you're looking for a PC NSE certification, you must complete three papers along with EDU 210 paper. EDU 210 paper is must, and other two papers are there. So that is EDU 220. Okay, so along with EDU 210, if you want to go for a PC NSE certification, you must complete EDU 220 and EDU 330. So EDU 220, it's talk about Panorama, one more product called management product. So in a Palo Alto one of the Palo Alto product called Panorama, which is centralized management device for the Palo Alto firewall. So in your production network, you're working in a huge network, enterprise network. So they have a multi-branch companies, right? So each branches they have a Palo Alto firewall. So let's say you have a 50 branches or 100 branches. All that each branches they have a Palo Alto firewall as a perimeter firewall, gateway firewall, right? So in this scenario, all this 100 firewalls you want to manage under one roof, it's for that you need a special device called Panorama. Panorama. It's a centralized management device. Okay. For Palo Alto firewall, guys. Okay. So you need to learn EDU 210 and EDU 220, and EDU 220 it's talk about Panorama, and another paper EDU 330. Okay, so here you are going to learn about troubleshooting. So EDU 210 you are going to learn how to use your Palo Alto firewall, how to manage, how to deploy, and how to configure your Palo Alto firewall, what in to implement the network security features in daily activities in your production network. But when it comes to the troubleshooting, right? So it's which is not included in a PCNSA. So troubleshooting it is included in a PCNSA only. So the EDU 330 is a separate paper which is mainly focusing troubleshooting only, troubleshooting of your Palo Alto firewall. Okay, so these three papers you have to separately complete if you want to go for a PCNSE certification, guys. Okay, so our in curriculum which include all these three paper: EDU 210, EDU 220, EDU 330, guys. Okay, so after this training program, if you are planning to write a certification in a Palo Alto firewall, so you are eligible to write a global certification for Palo Alto PCNSA and PCNSE. So there is no prerequisites. First, you need to complete PCNSA, then only you can go for a PCNSA. You can directly go for a PCNSA. One of the uh, affordable certification program and much valid certification program. Okay, so you can go for a PCNSE directly, guys. Okay, so thing is, I mean, the cost for this PCNSE certification is 180 USD plus tax based on your country. Okay, so it will come around 200 USD to 210 USD. Okay, for the PCNSA, if you're looking for PCNSA, you have to pay 220 to 180 USD, and you are looking for PCNSE, you have to pay 180 USD. So that's the reason. So the cost wise there is no difference. So you can instead of writing a associate level of training, administrative level of certification, you can go for an expert level of certification. So you will get recognized more than P PCNSA. Okay, and you along with that you are having a knowledge of Panorama as well, more, which is most demanded, one of the most demanded product in Palo Alto site. So you have a huge opportunity, guys. Okay, so you can go with a PCNSE certification directly. It's my suggestion, but okay. The validity of this certification program is 2 years. So after 2 years, you have to recertify it or you have to upgrade your certification with other Palo Alto products. Okay, so to upgrade yours. Okay, so this is the curriculum which we are going to cover in Palo Alto. Okay, so let me give some brief introduction about Palo Alto firewall. Then we'll start the roadmap discussion. Then I'll get your personal information for the LMS access. Okay, so yes. Okay, so Palo Alto, it's one of the finest next generation firewall, and past 1 decade, it's ruling the firewall industry, guys. Okay, and Palo Alto is the in a firewall market leader. So these products are the firewall market leaders: Palo Alto, Checkpoint, sorry, FortiGate, and Checkpoint, and Cisco. Okay, so these vendors are ruling the firewalling industry as of now, and we have a number of next generation firewalls, but these four are having major contribution in a firewall industry. Okay, so in that past 1 decade, Palo Alto is ruling. Okay, so few years, past 2 3 years only, the Palo Alto and FortiGate they are keep on changing their position, but still they are in a market leader. Yeah, okay, but past 1 decade, it's ruled the Palo Alto, it's ruled the industry, guys. So that's the reason you can check if you go for a job portal, you can check out the in your skill recommendation, right? Or knowledge, they ask for the Paloalto. So maximum Paloalto you can able to see when it comes to the network security domain, networking, okay, cyber security domain. Okay, so if they are asking firewall, so 80% you can see Paloalto is included that. Okay, so the reason past 1 decade it's ruling the industry, and that's the reason, guys. So more support people uh, they need. Okay, for the Palo Alto fire. Okay, so fine, and but this Palo Alto comparatively, Palo Alto as a Palo Alto firewall or Palo Alto founded in the year of 2005. Check FortiGate, it's founded in 2000. Okay, and then Checkpoint, it's 1993. Cisco almost from 1990s onwards is there in firewall ASA, right? So they previously they acquired the fixed firewall and then they come up with the ASA, but as a next generation firewall in the year of 2005. Okay, in the year of after 2005, I forget the exact year. Okay, so I think it's a 2008 something. I'm not sure. So previously they have a next generation firewall, but they are not having dedicated next generation firewall. They have a dedicated next generation feature devices called IPS, NG-IPS. They have it, but ASA plus NG-IPS, they given a solution for the next generation firewall previously, but after the year of 2008, they come up with a dedicated next generation firewall hardware unit, so called FTD, Cisco Firepower Threat Defense. Okay, so comparatively, but Cisco almost from 1990s, it's available in the market when it comes to the networking industry or other products, right? So network security domain and Checkpoint almost is there in a 90, the same Cisco and Checkpoints are from the beginning itself. They are available in the market, but FortiGates it's came at the year of 2000 and then Palo Alto came year of 2005, guys. Even though it's an newest product, so right. So as soon as it's launched, so it's get fame with the users. So as soon as very quickly, guys. Okay, so that's the reason. Past 1 decade, almost 10 plus years, it's ruling the industry, guys. Okay, I'll total near about 19 years only. This year, Palo Alto found 19 years back or established 19 years back. But in this 19 years, almost last 10 years ruled by Palo Alto only. Okay, so there are the reason the Palo Alto founder or Palo Alto, right? So Palo Alto founder, he was a one of the employee, one of the developer in a Checkpoint. Okay, Palo Alto founder, and then FortiGate founder. They are one of the employees in a Checkpoint software solution, guys. Okay, so whatever the drawback is there in a Checkpoint in that particular point of time, so they have come up with a new feature and they have fixed that problems and they have come up with a new feature. So that's the reason nowadays they are ruling than Checkpoint. Even though Checkpoint is a very oldest product in the market, I mean the organization in this market, but still Palo Alto and FortiGate rule the industry. It's one of the reason they know what is the flaw is there in a Checkpoint at that particular time, right? So they have fixed and they have come up with their own product. So that's the reason they can able to rule the industry, guys. Okay, and apart from that, so the headquarters, I mean, the Palo Alto, it's a US based brand, headquarters in California. Okay. And the founder of the Palo Alto is Nirzuk. And then, sorry, guys. So as of now, Nikesh Arora is the CEO of Palo Alto Network. So who is a farmer, senior engineer, executive engineer of uh, Google, right? And so right now he is the CEO of Palo Alto Network, and he is one of the American-based Indian. Okay, so fine. Uh, so it's for your knowledge purpose. I'm sharing. It's not an important thing, but if you have this idea, that's fine. It will work out for you sometimes. Okay, and now we have to discuss with these two key points. So key features available in a Palo Alto firewall and then architecture. So these key features only the most reasonable reason or more these key features only is the reason for the most successful of your Palo Alto. Okay, so and then these two things. Why I'll let you know. Okay, so Palo Alto Palo Alto firewall has its own operating system called PAN operating system. Okay, Palo Alto Network is the brand name they have given. It's the same first three letter. sorry, sorry. So each first letter of the word. So they have given us operating system name. Actually, the mother operating system is Linux FreeBSD. It's a Linux based operating system. It's their own operating system, PAN operating system, but its mother operating system for their PAN operating system, it's a Linux based operating system, guys. Okay. So the latest version of the PAN operating system is 11.x. So previous version is 10.x. Okay. And latest version is 11.x. So we'll in our training program we'll use both 10.x and 11.x, both operating system we are going to use it. And in market we have a checkpoint next generation firewall and FortiGate next generation firewall. Then after later Palo Alto came to the market. Then how they can able to occupy the industry? What is the reason for that? These are the major elements. So for the Palo Alto success, guys. Okay, so they only come up with these three features very first time. App ID and all the next generation firewalls are giving these features nowadays, but app ID is the one of the most. App ID means it's application identity awareness. Okay, so it's in a mechanism which is used to detect the application based I mean detect that application based traffic. Okay, so you can by using this feature only we can able to block some specific application. Let's say in my production network I don't want to allow Facebook. So uh, because of this feature only I can able to examine the live traffic and I can able to identify this traffic is belongs to so and so application. So this application, as per the app ID filter, we just create the filter to block Facebook. So this identification, this inspection is done by, or this feature is supported by, this application ID feature, guys. Okay, so we can able to filter the traffic based on the application because of app ID features. So almost 1200 plus applications signatures we have in a Palo Alto firewall, and comparatively in checkpoint we have app id feature, in Palo Alto we have app id feature, and FortiGate we have app id feature. All next generation firewall having application filter features, but the very first time they Palo Alto only came up with a proper app. Previously we have a separate application firewall, right? So web application firewalls we used in a separate device, but Palo Alto, even though all other firewalls having that feature, but Palo Alto comes with a efficient way, and you can block or allow micro application as well. So in Facebook it's a collaborated application. So it's collaborated with multiple micro application. Let's say in Facebook I can able to post some share, right? So file sharing is there, right? And Facebook I can able to make a call. So call application is there. I can able to text messenger application is there, right? And I can play some games, game app is there, right? So it's multiple collaborated application, micro application. Facebook, it's not a single application, it's in a multiple micro collaborated applications we have inside that Facebook. So if you want to use, if you want to block the Facebook, or if you want to allow that Facebook, inside that Facebook, some micro features I want to block it, or some micro application I want to block it, so that can be done by your Palo Alto firewall efficiently. So that is the major advantage of having app ID. Okay, in, so that's happened because of the app ID feature, guys. Okay, so this, for this reason, is the 50 percentage of most important reason why, even though it's a free, I mean, new product in the industry in the year of 2005 when they established, right? So this is the, in that particular time, this is the feature really we need, so to work with a proper application filter. Okay, so that's the reason, that is one of the major reason Palo Alto boom. Okay, so even though it's a new product in the industry, so they are suddenly growing because of this feature only, guys. Or these three features. So ID, user ID. So user ID, application ID will use to block or examine the traffic based on the application, and if it is, this application is allowed. Okay, so user ID will use to allow or deny the user based filter. So for, I want to allow Facebook for, let's say in my production network I have a two different team. Okay, let's say in a same LAN subnet I have a sales team and I have a technical team, right? So I want to allow Facebook access for my sales team to promote my product. Okay, but I don't want to allow a social networking application access for my technical team people. So in that case, my user ID feature will examine if some of the traffic is allowed, right? So for that traffic, for it will examine the inside the allowed traffic. Okay, so if the traffic is allowed for which user, either sales team or technical team, right? Like that in, so you, it will examine their authorized users. So user ID feature will help us to examine the allowed traffic for the authorized users. If the traffic is allowed as per your app ID feature, if the application access is allowed in your production network, but that is restricted for some set of people or some set of employees, that is allowed for some set of employees, right? So in that case, it's need to, user ID feature will verify that, so this is an allowed traffic, that's fine. The user who is initiated the traffic, for that user that application is allowed or not, that services are allowed or not, right? So that inspection is done by this user ID feature, guys. Okay, so so in that particular time, so this feature is efficiently worked with a payload. Okay, so that is the reason they were become a market leader as soon as, okay, so they launched. Okay, and then one more IASM feature is called content ID feature. So allowed now, the traffic is allowed by the application. The application is allowed allowed the traffic, and inside that application, the user also is allowed. But what is that data status of allowed traffic? That allowed traffic might be infected by the wire, already it is infected by virus or malware, or the traffic is initiated by the hackers, right? Injected some even though it's an allowed traffic, right? So the sales team now, he can access the Facebook and over the internet, and so that Facebook server, it's already infected by the malware or spyware or hacker bypass the Facebook server and he injects some malware on that server. Now that server also infected device. So now while sales team, I'll access the Facebook, then they will get a reply, right? So while getting a reply, so this is an allowed traffic, right? For this allowed traffic, it's allowed user as well. So the application is allowed and user also allowed. So it's a fully allowed traffic. So we need to make sure that allowed traffic, it's an a secure traffic or not. Okay. So here only your IPS is coming to the place, guys. So IPS features like your antivirus feature, anti-malware protection, right? So and then vulnerability protection, spyware, right? Spyware, right? And then any network, any phishing attack, any unethical access. I mean, any network type of attack is initiated by the user, or I mean, maybe it's a user or the target machine, right? So everything is inspected by the content ID. So the content ID feature will examine the allowed traffic. So for the allowed application and allowed the user, after that, content ID will examine that allowed traffic, whether the traffic is safest to traffic or the data is safest to data or not. If it is unsafe to data, it will, what is the action I'm going to take it. So as an administrator, what is the action you have mention it. So as per that action, your content ID feature will either block the traffic or either monitor the traffic or either allow the traffic. Okay. So that is done by the content ID feature, guys. So these three features are one of the major reason, even though other firewalls are having that features. Okay. But very first time app ID feature efficiently worked with the Palo Alto devices very, okay, than any other firewalls in the initial days. So that is the one of the reason, guys. So all these included these two features. Okay, that is the one of the main reason. And after that, comparatively, your Palo Alto can produce the maximum throughput. Throughput means output. You can say it's a maximum output. So it can. So if you have a Palo Alto uh, base model, right? Let's say 200 series, PA200 series. Likewise, if you have a FortiGate base model, 40D or 40D, okay. So like checkpoint, if you have a base entry level model, right? So the same set of hardwares or same set of budget hardwares with a two multi different vendor products, right? So if you are comparatively, Palo Alto can produce more throughput, more output, more data can be inspected by any other firewall. So that is the one of the major advantage or major reason why Palo Alto becomes a market leader, guys. Okay, so it can produce the maximum throughput. It can produce the maximum throughput. So output. So let's say if for a deep inspection purpose, so the content ID or you app ID inspection, content ID inspection, user ID inspection, right? Everything can done more than any other vendor products when other firewalls in the same segment. Palo Alto can produce more throughput. For that, architecture of the Palo Alto is the major reason why Palo Alto can produce maximum throughput than any other firewalls. Okay, so these three features and plus this is the major role. This app ID and this is fa- placing the playing the major role, and maximum throughput also one of the major key reasons for the Palo Alto success, guys. Okay, so and after that, easy to manage, so user friendly and easy. The user friendly Palo Alto has a user friendly console and clean and clear cut user friendly console we have in a Palo Alto, and that is easy to maintenance, easy to manage, and we are getting a support, proper support in a since they when they came the market, right? So that time they are uh, new product, right? So they're given a proper support to the customers. Still, comparatively, other next generation firewalls, so still Palo Alto can give a proper support, better support than any other vendor. Okay, like Checkpoint. I mean, comparatively, Palo Alto gives the more support to the users, client. Okay, so that's the reason. They have ruling the past 1 decade. They are ruling the uh, ruling the firewall market in the industry, guys. Okay, and user friendly UA. The console is very user friendly. It's easy to understand and user friendly console. You can able to manage. You're not going to have unnecessary things and so invisible things, multiple things. Yes, multiple features are there, but it's easy to access and easy to manage it, guys. Okay, so that these are all the key features or major reason the Palo to become the market leader for past 1 decade, guys. Okay, so and this is the most important reasons for their success. Okay, and come so now the relation between the maximum throughput and architecture. So Palo Alto use SP3 architecture. The architecture name is called SP3, single pass parallel processing hardware. Okay, single pass parallel processing hardware. So we have a dedicated session for this architecture. So right now I don't want to go much in this architecture. Okay, so because we don't have enough time to explain that, and you'll not able to understand as of now. So I'll give you the inside that SP3 architecture. So single pass and parallel hardware we have. Single pass parallel hardware we have, right? So which means Palo Alto architecture. Palo Alto use separate hardwares for the management traffic and data traffic. Okay, separate hardware unit they used for the management traffic and data traffic. So this is the one of the major reason for the to achieve the maximum throughput. So if you go for a FortiGate, if you go for a checkpoint and all, they are not having dedicated uh, hardware unit. So the same data traffic will be used in the same hardware unit for an data analysis. I mean, to deep inspection or firewalling purpose, and as well as for management traffic also the same hardware will be uh, utilized. So in that scenario, when you're doing in a live production network, right? So if you're performing the automated backup, if you're performing the high availability, right? So in that scenario, the management traffic will occupy more hardwares. Let's say, so separate hardware unit for data traffic. So user initiated traffic or in the data traffic is nothing. It's your live production network, live traffic, which is initiated by your users, right? And control plane or management plane, which is separately focusing the management activities where you are going to uh, access your console of Palo Alto, or where whatever the management activities like taking a backup, patch update, or like take high availability updates, HA configurations, or HA from primary device to secondary device flapping, and then configuration update, in configuration fetching, right? So for this activities and all, in other products it will be used the same hardware unit. Okay, but Palo Alto separate, there is a separation of data plane traffic and control plane traffic. So management traffic, it's separately maintained. So when you're doing when you're having a high availability, right? So in your production networks, the high availability process, it will occupy the maximum hardwares. Okay, so while if you're taking a backup, right? So in that time, it will occupy the maximum storage and maximum CPU indents, right? So the maximum processing. So because of that, even though other vendor products are having, I mean, the same set of hardware unit they have, but they are not able to achieve the maximum throughput. But Palo Alto, they have separately maintained the data plane and control plane traffic in separate hardwares. So management activities is ta- taken care by the management plane or control plane, and but data traffic is taken care by the data plane. So the inspection of the live traffic is done by separately, and then handling your management traffic is separate hardware unit. So it is not going to impact your live production network. So that's the reason it's producing maximum throughput, guys. Okay, so that's the reason it's producing the maximum throughput. Okay, clear. So more about sp3 architecture, I'll show you the diagram of the architecture on upcoming sessions, so you can able to understand. So now you're going to have ideology, the architecture type, what is the architecture is Palo Alto is used, and what is the advantage of that architecture, and so what are the key features available in Palo Alto pan operating system, right? Why Palo Alto is in a market leader. Okay, so that, so this information is enough today. Okay, and you are just having an ideology about the pan operating system. Okay, we are not yet start the actual curriculum. It's just an introduction session. So I just give some ideology about the pan operating system, guys. Okay, so any queries, guys? So further about architecture and other features we'll discuss, and we are going to discuss some of the hardware model data sheets, so entry level and then high end models, and then VM machines data sheet as well in our upcoming session. Okay, so as of now, any queries in our live session? So whatever the topic I have taken today, so any queries in that, any doubts? Guys, any doubts? Do you have any doubts? Clear for today? Others? So it's today. I just give you overview. What are the content we are as per Palo Alto norms? What are the paper we are going to cover, and what as per our Palo Alto PCNSE curriculum? So what are the certification you can go for, right? And what is the architecture Palo Alto use, and what is the main feature. So why I mentioned here, so if you go for an interview, so sometimes you will get this question. So what is the reason uh, the Palo Alto become a market leader? So like that the interviewer will ask you sometimes. Okay, it's a simple question to just filtering purpose, they will ask these kind of things. So you, by using this simple question itself, they can able to understand whether you have really you have a hands-on with Palo Alto, or simply you're saying. So simple questions only they will use to detect you. Okay, okay, yes. Any queries? If not, please, I hope there is no queries as of now. I got a reply from few students only. So any doubts? Guys, I have created a separate, yeah, thank you guys, I have created separate WhatsApp group. I hope everyone is there in our WhatsApp group, right? So tomorrow onwards you will get the link on that WhatsApp group itself. Okay, so I'll not share the what link on the open WhatsApp group. So we have a dedicated WhatsApp group for the Palo Alto 7 to 8 p.m batch. So if anybody is already enrolled but your number is not there in that WhatsApp group, let me know. I'll add you, and please drop your information like WhatsApp number, and for a LMS access, please drop your WhatsApp number, and then your email ID, guys, registered email ID, and don't chat anything else. Nazik, okay, yeah, sure, I'll add you. Don't chat anything else, guys. Please share your WhatsApp number along with the country code. Okay, and then Yeah, it's for which course you're asking, Essen? You're asking for a fine on firewall or you're asking for Paloalto? Okay, you can just ping me for the feed. Okay, so if you have any queries, okay, so I'll share my contact number. You guys can ping me on this number. Okay, guys. So if you update your mail ID and then your mobile number, you can leave now. So that's it today. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to install our lab setup for the Palo Alto. Okay. So I request you to join all the. So don't miss your tomorrow session. So where we are going to discuss about the lab installation. So there I'll teach you. Uh, I'm going to do some mistake. What are the error you will get and how to fix that errors? Everything we'll discuss in a practical manner. So I request you to join. Mm. Don't miss for the tomorrow session, guys. If everyone is updated, you can leave.